Yo, what's good, everybody? It's me, That One Weeb, here with part 2 for What If Naruto Was a Titan Shifter Reforged. If you guys have not already, please make sure to slap that like button, comment down below what you think of the video after you're done watching it, as well as subscribe to the channel, as well as hit that notification bell if you want to see more future videos from me. Anyway, enough of that, and let's get right into this part for What If Naruto Was a Titan Shifter. Naruto boldly walks into the classroom as he claims that he had passed the graduation exam, with his headband now wrapped around his forehead. Sasuke would be aghast as he now is looking at the door with his mouth wide open, with him not able to say anything. Damn it! He got here? What? The exam ended. He failed. I saw him run out. What even... Sasuke in his mind would be extremely pissed off at this point, with Naruto in his mind having finally failed at something that he could do, with Naruto being proven from this as being weaker than Sasuke, from not even being able to do a simple jutsu. Naruto would take a seat next to Sakura and Sasuke, just like he would have in the original, with Sasuke extremely shocked at how Naruto had passed the exam. Now that everyone was gathered there, Iruka-sensei would then tell everyone what their teams were, with Team 7 being Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura, just like the original. With Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura being assigned under a Jonin leader, along with everyone else, obviously, the teams who have now taken place. With now most of the teachers arriving and taking their teams away from the classroom so they can begin their training as Genin, they would be last, and it would be a while. Where is he? Sasuke and Naruto both be thinking, as they're looking at the door waiting for this Jonin to walk in, and he hasn't arrived yet. Naruto would decide to play a prank as he would climb up and put an eraser on the door, just like he would have in the original, as he then walks back to his seat. Almost like clockwork, immediately the door would open, as Kakashi would walk into the door. As the eraser is about to fall on Kakashi's black hair, with his left hand he would easily snatch it out of the air, as he looks at it thinking what a funny prankster he has in his team. He would then put the eraser down on the board, as he would then ask and see if the three of them are really ready to train to become shinobi. He would sigh, he then tells them that there's a few things he needs to inform them on, as they would then head to the roof to talk. Kakashi would ask them what their dreams, hopes, and aspirations were before they start getting into the real deal. With Naruto boldly wanting to go first, as Kakashi would ignore him and focus on Sasuke first, causing Naruto to be a bit annoyed, you could say. Sasuke would stand up as he then says that he doesn't really have any dreams or hopes or anything you could call an aspiration, really. But he has a future, a path that he himself will lie before him, an inevitability. Something like a dream wouldn't be enough to describe the future that will happen. He wants to kill a certain someone. Sasuke would then sit back down as he says he doesn't have any likes or dislikes, as he would then now go back to looking at the ground. Kakashi would sigh as he thinks, edgelord, as he would then ask Sakura what she was interested in for dreams, hopes, and whatnot. Sakura would just be staring intently at Sasuke, as she then blushes and covers her face, with Kakashi already getting the deal, as he says moving on. Naruto would be impatient as he's waiting for Kakashi to call on him, with Kakashi taking an extra slow time. As Kakashi's finger then drifts over Naruto, Naruto would gasp out loud, as he then says that his dream is to become the Hokage of the Hidden Leaf Village, he would say, his eyes sparkling, as he would then stare at Kakashi with an intense look. Naruto would then say, I'm going to prove all those villagers wrong. I'm going to show them that just because I have the ability to turn into a titan and that I have the nine-tailed fox seal inside of me doesn't mean that I can't become respectable. Once I become the Hokage, everyone will respect me. Naruto would say this as he holds his hand up, with him now winking as he smiles at Kakashi. Kakashi's blank stare would not change, as he then sighs, telling the three of them to come along with him, as he was now going to show them where they'd be fighting tomorrow. Fighting? Naruto would be curious about what's going on, as the three would then follow Kakashi down to the training grounds. Kakashi would then turn around as he tells the trio that tomorrow they should not eat any breakfast and they should come, just the three of them in the morning. They'll be starting their test to see if they can truly be Genin, with Kakashi heavily doubting it. Kakashi's plain and deadpan stare and voice would cause Sasuke and Naruto to both get a little on edge, while Sakura wouldn't notice. But aren't we getting already? We passed the graduation exam. Sakura would pipe in this as, after saying this, Sasuke and Naruto both look at her like they had never met her before. Kakashi would then make a fake laugh as he then says that he doesn't think so, as he says that he's the one who gets to decide if they're ultimately ready or not, and that the world of Shinobi is no joke. People get eaten out there, literally, he would say. First things first tomorrow is I'll be teaching you how to use this gear, he would say. As Naruto's view would pan down towards Kakashi's legs, we can see that he has 2 metal canisters on each side, with belts tying to his normal shinobi suit. What's that? Naruto would be thinking, with Sasuke answering for him. It's 3D maneuver gear, he would say. Remember how we have all those titans that sometimes randomly pop up in the middle of the forests and woodlands? Those things are dangerous, even with our chakra. If we get ambushed by a whole lot of them, there's almost no way to escape. Of course, you wouldn't have to worry about that, would you, monster? He would say. Naruto would now be getting pissed off as he tells him to take that back, with Sasuke and Naruto almost fighting right there. Kakashi would pull a kunai out, as he would then tell Sasuke that he's partly right. This gear doesn't work automatically, though. It utilizes our chakra in order to give us more speed and agility. This device was created by the Stone Village during the Third Great Shinobi War. If you might not have known this already, it takes your chakra and turns it into wind energy. By using this, it gives enough for pressure and force, almost like air cannons, which allow the user to move through the air with ease. Naruto nods. He says he thinks he understands with his eyes closed, as he then presses his thumb to his chin, considering this. Kakashi would then go on after sighing that the 3 of them have to learn how to use this gear, and fast, because when they're out on missions, they have to worry about the attacks from titans in the wild almost all the time, and if they're going to battle them, they can't just rely on using chakra. Even though chakra is strong enough usually to take out most titans, it won't be enough in most cases, as titans have extreme durability and can regenerate fast, he would say. Anyway, that's too much for today. I'll explain more tomorrow. Go get some rest. You'll need it. Kakashi would say as he then walks away. The 3 students would then head home with Naruto eating some ramen and going to bed early, with him barely able to go to sleep at all even. He'd then wake up with a few minutes before time to head to the training grounds, and so he would. As he heads to the training grounds, he would see Kakashi already there. Unlike the original, he would have had needed time to prep. As he sees Naruto, he would wave, with Sasuke and Sakura having already arrived and getting their gear on. I'll help explain it to you, but Sakura and Sasuke should help you set it up, he would say. As he then gives Naruto his belts and gear he needs to actually use the maneuver gear. Naruto would try and clumsily put it on, with him eventually giving up as he asks Sakura for help, with Sasuke offering help to Naruto. Sasuke himself, by the way, didn't get it at his first time either, with Sakura sighing and offering Naruto some help, telling him to come here, idiot. As she would then help Naruto with his belts and everything, Naruto would finally be all strapped up and ready to go. He would thank Sakura a ton as he's then rubbing his cheek, with her then sighing and telling him to ignore it. Naruto would be looking at Kakashi now, saying they're all ready to go, with Kakashi already set up and ready. He'd then begin to explain the rules of the bell test. Now, see these 2 bells? He would hold up 2 silver bells that he pulled out of his jacket pocket, as he would then hold them up for the 3 members to see. All 3 of them would nod, as Kakashi would say, Good. You guys have to use your gear and try and maneuver around me to take these bells from me. Fight like you're trying to kill me, or you won't be able to, he would say. Oh, and Naruto. There's no use of your Titan power here. It's too close to the village, and you still haven't gotten too much control over it. Naruto would nod, as he then tells Kakashi-sensei he's going to get his bells no matter what. Kakashi would then have a countdown, as he says 3, 2... Naruto would run forward immediately, as Kakashi would suddenly be behind Naruto. I couldn't even see him, he would think, as Kakashi would say that they haven't even started yet, and tell Naruto to get back to the line. Naruto would obey as he then slowly walks backwards, with Sasuke saying, Idiot! As Naruto would hear this and tell him if he wants to say it to his face, say it. I don't feel like it anymore, Sasuke would say, with Naruto saying, What was that? Kakashi would tell the 2 that they're fighting him, not each other, as Kakashi would then start counting down again. 3, 2, 1. As all 3 of their eyes, Sakura, Sasuke, and Naruto's eyes would narrow, Sasuke and Sakura would dive into the forest, using their maneuver gear and piercing into the tree as they'd use wind energy. By converting their chakra and pushing it, like they would through chakra paths, they would push their energy into the actual metal canisters, which would then act as artificial chakra paths, take in that energy, and produce wind. As this burst of air would send them flying forward, this gas would send them slamming into the tree, with them still having to get the hang of it. As Sakura climbs on and scrambles onto the branch, Sasuke and Sakura both turn around to analyze the area, as they see Naruto still standing there in front of Kakashi. That fool, Sasuke would be thinking. There's no way he can take a Jonin on at his level. There's no way. Naruto would be standing there as he's still trying to figure out how he's going to make these things work, with Kakashi sighing as he begins walking towards Naruto, as he would hold the bells in front of him, dangling them. Naruto would quickly reach forward and try to grab them, as Kakashi would take a step back, with Naruto now getting pissed off. Sakura and Sasuke would suddenly notice the drain in their chakra. I can only use a few bursts of this, Sasuke would think, as he realizes that used quite a decent chunk of his chakra, just that little burst. I guess we need to learn how to control these not to use such big amounts of chakra. That's going to be taking a lot of time. It must use insane amount of chakra control to convert to that much chakra to wind, they'd be thinking, as they're trying to fine-tune their ability of using the gear. Naruto, on the other hand, would have already spammed Shadow Clones, as they were all running at Kakashi and punching and kicking. Kakashi could easily work through the Shadow Clones, as Naruto was still trying to figure out a plan. I'll just do what I do with my hand seals and see if this works. Naruto would focus as he thinks, come on, as he's focusing a ton of chakra into the back of the metal canisters. Suddenly, Kakashi would widen his eyes as he watches this, with Naruto's gear now suddenly projecting him forward incredibly fast. Ah! Almost instantaneously, Naruto would be sent flying forward at incredibly fast speeds, as he just used almost half of his chakra on just trying to get the wind to work in the back of these movement gears. As Naruto gets speeding forward towards Kakashi, he would headbutt Kakashi in the chest, with both Kakashi and Naruto feeling the pain. Now's our chance, Sakura and Sasuke would both be thinking as they dive out using their gear. Two metal piercing shots would fly out from the gear as they slam to the ground, tying them to it. They would then use a bit of chakra and boost, sending them forward fast. Now, Sasuke would think, as he starts using his hand seal. This will use most of my chakra that I have left, he would think, as he creates a fireball jutsu, blasting it towards Kakashi. He can use that jutsu already? Impressive, Kakashi would think, as he now recovers from the blow, barely in time. Sakura is barely able to touch one of the bells before he pulls it away from her hand, with her falling flat on her face as Naruto's on the ground, holding his head, saying that hurt a lot. Kakashi would say that was impressive, but Naruto must have used at least half of his chakra with that much speed, as he would then use his own maneuver gear, moving through the forest away from the trio. Damn, Sasuke would think. They'd lost their chance, but they had shown some teamwork in this effort. Naruto picked himself up as he says they have to go after him, with Sasuke telling Naruto to use less chakra in the gear, saying that he could have blown up the canisters. Naruto would nod, saying he used way too much, as he feels his own chakra drain, saying he's exhausted. He might not even be able to get one of the bells now, Naruto would be thinking. Damn it. Sasuke and Sakura would then take the chance that Naruto is down to try and grab the bells, as the two would then follow after Kakashi as they use their gear and climb back into the trees using chakra into their feet. We can see Sasuke as he focuses, charging chakra into his feet and then jumping from tree limb to tree limb. There he is, he would say. Got you. He would jump behind Kakashi with a kunai and stab him in the back, thinking that it would take him out and then take the bells. Suddenly a poof would happen, as Sasuke would think, damn it, he got tricked. As he falls down, suddenly a rope would snag around Sasuke, as he feels himself captured in the tree. Damn. Kakashi would be behind him laughing, as he said that was an easy trick, as he would then walk around and start trying to look for Sakura. Sakura would be taken out much similarly, but using a genjutsu instead, with her using a genjutsu of Sasuke coming to find her and being in danger. With Sakura now in a genjutsu and Naruto all alone without him being able to use his gear, they would have failed the test, not unable to use their gear in order to take the bells from Kakashi. Kakashi would take the three back, with Naruto being tied against the wooden post for not even attempting to actually try and get the bell either, at least from Kakashi's perspective. Naruto would sigh as he doesn't get his lunch, while the other two would get their bento boxes. Eventually, when Kakashi would walk off, he would tell the two not to feed Naruto no matter what, as they would then immediately, with Sakura and Sasuke both offering to feed Naruto some food. Kakashi would come storming out as he then tells them that they've failed the test. At least, that's what he would say. And, in fact, when they had worked during the test, even though they didn't get the bells, inadvertently almost, the three of them had actually showed some teamwork, with this being the final push they needed. Kakashi would say that those who break the rules are scum, but it's almost like he trails off in thought. He would then say, those who abandon their friends are worse than scum. Kakashi would stop as he then tells everyone that they pass, saying that he'd be starting their first D-rank mission with them tomorrow, with Naruto cheering as he's now a genin officially. The three would then head back as their D-rank missions would begin for the next week. We now see Naruto as he's running through the forest, saying he's on the target. We see a black speck of speed as Naruto's chasing after using his gear, as he's flying through the air using chakra. At this point, Sasuke and Sakura were helping Naruto with trying to figure out how to use it, and Naruto was still pretty bad at it as we see him slam into the side of a tree. Ow! He would then fall to the ground as he continues chasing on foot, eventually jumping, leaping, and grabbing the cat. As he's now petting the cat, he would then take it back with him as he says the mission has been accomplished, with Kakashi saying that took 3 minutes, saying that was way too long. Naruto apologizes as he rubs the back of his head, as a leaf would then fall on his nose. Naruto would sneeze as Sasuke would laugh at Naruto. Naruto would ask what's so funny, as the two would then get into an argument. Kakashi should be a bit used to this by now, as it's almost been a week of them doing these kind of missions. I wish we could do some more difficult missions. I want to test Naruto's strength and see how he can utilize the armored. Kakashi should be thinking this as he's now staring off into space. Kakashi-sensei? Kakashi-sensei! Yeah, I'm here. What's up? We can go and turn our mission now to the third Hokage, right? Naruto would ask as he was pulling on Kakashi's sleeve. Kakashi would nod as the three and Kakashi would then walk towards the Hokage's office, turning in the cat and completing the mission. With this, he'd begin to pull out the next D-rank mission, as the third Hokage was going to. But as he's about to pull it out, both Naruto and Kakashi would raise their hands as they begin talking, with Kakashi telling Naruto he can go first, I guess. With Naruto saying that he's sorry to be rude to the Lord Third, but he was hoping that they could actually do a more difficult mission, with them having completed all their D ranks, and hopefully anything, even a C rank mission would be great. Naruto's eyes would be sparkling, as the Third would be considering it. As Sasuke and Sakura would be aghast at how rude Naruto is being to the third Hokage, this would be when Kakashi would pipe in, saying he actually was going to ask the same thing, with him saying that Naruto and Sasuke's skills are drastically improved using their gear, and he thinks they're ready. If you're sure, Kakashi. Lord Third would stamp the papers. He then says for Tazuna to come in, with one of the Lord Third's guards going, as Hiruzen would send him. As Hiruzen has sent his guard to go and get the client that they'd be defending, he would explain the mission to them while they were waiting. On this mission, he'll be defending a bridge builder on his way back to the Land of Waves. It's a C-rank mission, so you shouldn't have too much trouble. Just escort him there and then come back. As he would say this, everyone would nod, as suddenly the scent of alcohol would hit everyone in the room. Both Naruto and Sasuke would cover their face, as the scent of alcohol is now filling the room, with Tazuna completely drunk stumbling in. "Are these people scarring me?" he would say, as his eyes and face are completely red and loopy. With Hiruzen then nodding, telling Tazuna that these fine shinobi will be guarding him. Tazuna would hiccup, as he then says, "Are you sure that these kids can do it?" he would say as he walks up, looking down at Naruto, saying that he's the shortest one. Naruto would now be extremely angry, as you can see his hair puff up. That doesn't matter, Naruto would say as he turns around, with Tazuna laughing and hiccuping. Kakashi would also be there, as he then tells Tazuna that they should be perfectly adequate for this mission. And so Team 7 would then head out. As they walk out of the great gates, we can already hear something rumbling. What's going on, Naruto be thinking, as this is his first time outside the walls of Konoha. "This is," he would say. As they walk almost 100 feet, suddenly a crash would come rolling through the forest, as we see a small 4-meter titan come out. "That's a titan," Naruto would think. Sasuke would claim this one as he then uses his maneuvering gear, grappling onto a tree and turning as he turns around the titan before it can react, using his kunai and slashing through its nape, taking it down immediately, as it would fall to the ground, steaming. "Alright, we're all set to go," Sasuke would say, with Kakashi clapping, saying that was impressive. But he's still got a long way to go. He's nowhere near Kakashi's 505 confirmed Titan kills. As Kakashi would say, Sasuke would be currently dropping his jaw at the amount of kills that Sasuke has just heard Kakashi had gained. Naruto would also be impressed. He says that their sensei must be pretty awesome, huh? Kakashi would nod as his black hair would flow over his face, turning around and telling Tazuna that they have nothing to worry about as they continue walking forward. They wouldn't run into another Titan for pretty much at all, actually, until suddenly both Kakashi and Sasuke would notice something that Naruto doesn't. Suddenly, the two Chunin demon brothers would jump out as they try and attack Tazuna, with Sasuke taking these two down as well, with Naruto shocked as he didn't even notice them. Kakashi, who had just been stabbed by the other one, would have been taken down by Sasuke. With Kakashi having apparently died, Naruto would be shocked as we suddenly see Kakashi's body transform into a piece of wood. Kakashi would come walking out as he said he used a substitution jutsu, telling Sasuke that was impressive with his teamwork with him. Sasuke would nod, saying that he's been preparing this for his entire life. Naruto would still be standing there shocked, as Sasuke then turned to Naruto and asked if he needed any help, scaredy cat. Naruto's eyes would become openly filled with rage, as he would grab a kunai and stab into his hand, saying that this was a vow, and that he was never going to be scared again. He would then throw the kunai back away, as he sees his blood drop to the ground. Kakashi would tell him to be careful, as he tells Naruto that if he had a goal in mind when he did that, then he would have transformed into a Titan, and they didn't have time to deal with that right now. Naruto would say sorry as he looks at the ground, his eyes shaking, with him walking forward, now feeling a bit mad at Sasuke, more than he ever had been before. Sakura, who went to comment on this, would have just been protecting Tazuna just like the original, with now Team 7 heading closer to their destination, the Land of Waves. If you guys want to see the next part for What If Naruto was a Titan Shifter, make sure to slap the like button, comment down below what you thought, and subscribe to the channel for more videos from me. I will see all of you guys in the next one. Goodbye.